If you don't know me already, my name is Elin. I'm a Norwegian, and this is my channel, Hidden in a Book. And I'm here with my freshly brewed cup of coffee from my Snufkin mug. I don't know about you, but I love the Moomins. Or you can see him better that way. But I'm right-handed, so I need my right hand to drink my coffee. So I'm finally here with a book review that I promised you in a previous video. And the book is The Traitor's Tunnel by C.M. Spivey. So here's the book. As you can see, it's an ebook. And I have had this on my e-reader for a while. Since April. I know that someone suggested this book to me, otherwise I would probably not have known about it. I would have gone way under my over my radar. So I was trying to actually look back because I was thinking that it was someone on Twitter suggesting it to me, but I wasn't able to find the tweet. Not going into that story, but there's reasons. So yeah, I wasn't able to find out who actually recommended it to me, unfortunately. But I think it might have been either at EasterCon or around EasterCon, because it has been on, or maybe like right after EasterCon, because it just has been on my e-reader since April, and EasterCon 2019 was at Heathrow in April, and I was there. But let's get to the book. So this book actually has two main characters. It's Bridget. I keep saying her name incorrectly, but her name is Bridget. And she's a witch, or a witch-blooded thief. Her witch blood makes her being able to actually make herself invisible, and that is what she does when she tries to pick pockets and stuff like that. She makes herself invisible. She has a very limited knowledge to magic because she has a book that was given to her by her mother. And that's it's like an old book, and there's like very limited magic spells in that book. But one of the things is she can make herself invisible, and that comes quite handy when you're a thief. She does not want to be a part of the Thieves Guild. She has a friend, a previous relation. She was previously in a relationship with him, and he tries to convince her to join the guild. And one of the reasons for that is that our kids going missing, thieves' kids, urchins as she calls them, but she doesn't really care. She says that what she really cares about is herself, or she doesn't say that, but what she really cares about is just herself. Winter is coming, it's going to get cold, and she's trying just to survive and pick pockets and rub people, just so she can make things go round. But then there's this day, and she picks the wrong pocket. And to her surprise, when she picks the pocket of this gentleman, he's kind of, I'm not sure older is the right word, but he's like in grown up, proper grown up. And there's a young man with him, and she recognizes this young man because the young man is Teddy. Teddy is her long lost brother. She hasn't seen him for 13 years. The other main character in this book is Theodore, and Theodore is a young craftsman. So we are now in the capital of the country, or the empire. I can't remember what the empire is called, but we are in the capital. And the reason for Theodor moving to the capital is to be an apprentice. He has managed to get a apprenticeship with a city engineer, a renowned city engineer. He's a bit odd though, Theodor thinks, but Theodor has a dream of becoming a Lord Engineer, and this odd being in these odd things with house with these odd rules and limitations, he thinks it's worth it. Especially because he will get exposure to the Imperial Council, who has a lot to do when it comes to engineering. They kind of decides on stuff and things like that. As you might have guessed already, Theodor and Teddy are the same person. So he is Bridget's brother. And one thing is that Theodor does not realize that Bridget is his sister, and one of the reasons for that is that he thinks actually that she is dead. And since he thinks she's dead, he doesn't really think much more about it after the pickpocket incident. Yeah, so that kind of, he doesn't go on thinking about it. Bridget, on the other hand, she realizes that it is her brother, and she starts to spy on him. And there's this one day when Theodor has been sent away by his master. He thinks it's odd because he normally has a curfew. He's not allowed to stay out after dark. But this time his master tells him, go away, do whatever you want. The rest of the day is off. Go see your partner. And don't come back until after dark. And so this is a new thing for Theodor. He's not used to that at all. So he thinks it's odd, but he does what he's being told, and he thinks it's really nice to be with his partner. His partner is Leander, so it's like an M2M relationship there. And Leander is a really nice guy, from what I gather. And he's a librarian, or he works in the library. So Theodor, who loves spending time in the library, goes to see his partner. And then Bridget, the very same day, is in the house to spy on her brother, as she's done for the past 3 weeks or so. And there she overhears a secret meeting between Theodor's master and a guest. I'm not going to say more than that. And that meeting reveals a really, really cruel plan. So she sneaks back out. She has been invisible, of course. And she rushes to find her brother and tell him about this. And hopefully he'll believe her and help her. At first, Teddy gets really, really confused because he thinks that his sister is dead. He realizes she's not dead. So there's kind of a reuniting thing. How well it goes? Maybe not the greatest. So he doesn't really believe her at first. And then she gets like desperate and don't know really what to do. She goes off and tries to do things on her own. And then after a little bit of time, Teddy talks to his partner and realizes that maybe it wasn't untrue at all. Maybe there's something to it. There's also some things that relieves things. So he understands that, okay, this is serious. So with his sister, he realizes that he has to try and stop this cruel plan. And this plan, it does not only threaten the city, because it does, but it also threatens the whole empire. So that's the basics of the story. I hope I didn't give too much away, because the book isn't very long. It's a novella. But yeah, I don't think I gave away too much. So one of the things I really liked about this book is that this is one of the most diverse books that I've read in a very long time, and touches my heart. You have the diversity of sexuality, which is beautifully written. You have Teddy, who has his longtime partner, Leander. Leander and Teddy meets in the book, and Teddy didn't even know that Leander was in the city, and they meet in the library. And Teddy is surprised, and here you have also a really good description of the consent, or asking for consent, because Leander actually asked Teddy, is it okay if I kiss you? Even though they've been like long time partners. You also have a female to female relationship, which is Bridget and her partner. And Bridget has also, as I mentioned earlier, she has also been in a relationship with a man previously. So you have like so it's not like straightforward. It's like queer all the way. It's also own voices asexual, and I really liked how it's described in the book, the asexuality. So I'm going to read the quote. So this is Teddy explaining when he meets Leander, and telling him he can't really come back to his place or he can't really live in his place because he's not allowed to have overnight visitors. And then Teddy explains to the audience, or to the reader, not like directly to the reader, but kind of, his thoughts about it. So this is Teddy. He had no interest in sex, and the arrival of his partner did not change that. He and Leander had only made love a few times in their relationship, and only under the most romantic circumstances. That's very beautiful, isn't it? There's also racial diversity. There's multiple people of color characters. And you have, as far as I've understood, both Teddy's and British snow partners are people of color. And it's explained in a very natural way, and very nicely done. There's also a lot of gender diversity. There's a description about how they claim their gender. I'm not sure if it's like in the world in general, because I've not read other books in this world, or if it's just this family or clan that Bridget and Theodore comes from, but it's at least they claim the gender, so it's not like you're born with a gender, which is kind of cool in my opinion. So that's also a diverse thing to the book. So great diverse book, and it should be read by more people, in my opinion. That being said, about all these backstory and diversity, there's also other things to the book, so that's not the only things that make this book great. There's also a really cool world building. It's very easy to see that the author has put so much work into the world building. The city is like beautifully described. So yeah, really great, and language cool. I really enjoyed this book. So I really hope I kind of made you curious about this book. And it would be really cool if more people read it. If you have already read it, I would love to hear it. So here's the book, The Traitor's Tunnel by, it's very hard to see, C.M. Spivey. So really great book, and I hope more people would read it. And if you have read it, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts about the book. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Finally managed to get this book review done. I find book reviews easier to write than to speak in English. I find them easier to kind of talk about books in Norwegian for obvious reasons, I guess. English not my native language. So that's it for now, and I hope to see you in my next video. That would be really cool. And if you want to subscribe, that would be nice as well. So I'm almost done with my coffee here. And Snufkin and I are saying